Hi everybody, my name is Connor Farley. I'm one of the co-founders here at Truvius, and today we're going to be talking about the Truvius All Cap Model. Now this is a really exciting video because it's the first that we've been talking about a Truvius model instead of a Truvius index. And in case you haven't, a really good place to start would be our video on Truvius models and indices that explains why we use that terminology and how it relates to our investments as a framework for today's video. Additionally, I would then encourage you to watch the mid cap, large cap, and mega cap videos that we did on each of our size-based indices. And those are the indexes that you can find within our index marketplace. And we step through the details of each of these size-based index products, investable indices that Truvius creates. So with those videos under your belt, today we're going to explore our model marketplace. First time we've taken a look at this. And you can see there's a lot on the screen. In other videos, we explain all of these things, what investment styles are, and you can click into this within the app and get written descriptions and quite a lot of detail on what each of these attributes mean, and you can sort by performance, etc. But today we're going to be looking at the Truvius All Cap model, the market version of that, which is our less actively managed implementation of the All Cap model. So let's click into this. And as you can with any model, the first thing you see is the model's objective. So it's a written objective about what the exposure is seeking to accomplish. So you can see this is a broad-based allocation or investment that you can get to the crypto market. It's multi-asset. It holds approximately 30 assets, which can fluctuate depending on assets that come in and out of the investment universe based on our rules-based criteria. You can see that it's allocated to various size-based Truvius indices. And what this is seeking to accomplish is, just like in the world of equities, some people take a framework of allocating by sector. They want certain exposure to certain sectors, maybe healthcare, telecoms, whatever. Alternatively, they may want to invest from a size-based or allocate based on the sizes of certain assets, such as small cap, mid cap, large cap, mega cap. The latter is what this product is doing. So we'll come back and talk about performance in a second. This is a live net of fees track record of this actual product. But the really key part here is that it's allocated strategically to the various size-based indices that Truvius offers. So 70% of this investment is allocated to the mega cap index, 20% to the large cap, and 10% to the mid cap. And the reason we chose those allocations is because that approximately amounts to the market cap for the various assets within these indices. By allocating 70%, 20%, 10%, what you end up with is the sum product of the assets in those indices. And you can see all of those assets down here. There's about 30 of them. And what you end up with is allocations to these assets that approximately resembles the crypto market. These can fluctuate based on market values, rebalancing, etc. But generally, they'll remain somewhere near these allocations. So you can see more than half of the portfolio is allocated to Bitcoin. As a note, we lag weights by about 30 days inside the app here. So as of July 19th, these were the weights to these assets. Ethereum is a little more than 15%, and then we have a number of other assets. And the really cool thing about a product like this is it has so many assets compared to some of the ones you see out there on the marketplace. It offers off-the-shelf, all-in-one access or exposure to a great number of crypto assets compared to what you typically see out there. You can think of this as a sector diversified product that tries to give you more exposure to more of the crypto economy and benefit or at least have exposure to these smaller cap, mid cap range assets that span a number of different sectors. You can also toggle by sector as well. So if you wanted to see the sector composition of this model, you can look at it from that perspective as well. And we see how it's allocated mostly to value transfer and smart contract platform, which is akin to the actual crypto market itself, and then a number of other sectors behind that. So that's a little bit about the holdings of the all cap model and why we've allocated it in this way. From a performance perspective, seen meaningful upside since the live inception of this track record over a year ago. These returns on the screen are of a live actual sub-account that's trading, so it's net of fees. It represents the real returns of a real sub-account managed by Truvius. And exploring maybe a different timeline here, let's maybe look at year to date. We can see over the year so far, over the first 8 or so months of the year, up about 20%, lagging Bitcoin just a bit. And you can see that much of that underperformance compared to Bitcoin occurred during Q1. So you see a fairly meaningful sell-off occurring in Q1. But since then has seen a meaningful rebound, ripping up since the start of Q1, continuing that through today. Pretty interesting to see that. And now that we've scanned through this product, let's say it makes sense for your portfolio and you want to invest in it. You simply click Add to my portfolio, confirm, and then you navigate to your portfolio and it's now in your portfolio. And I already had this smart contract platform index in here. But if you'd like, you can just allocate fully to that product. And by doing so, you now hold an allocation to 3 different size-based indices and have a more off-the-shelf comprehensive exposure to 30 different crypto assets weighted approximately by their market cap.